Well, hello everybody. This is Kurt with Sender Rope TV. As you may have heard, the national debt has just clicked over $14 trillion. Now, there's a great website you need to check out, and this is it, usdebtclock.org. And you can do something called the Debt Clock Time Machine, which I'll show you in a minute. But I wanted to show you some of just the rampant absurdity of what is going on in Washington. And every time these jokers pass some new thing and they say, well, it only adds $100 billion to the national debt, or it only does this, or it only does that, or whatever. It's irrelevant, because every dollar they spend is a dollar they don't have. So everything that they're doing right now is getting added to the national debt when you really look at it. Because what we should be doing is what every American consumer is doing when their debt hits a certain limit, is they are, one, cut off by the credit card companies. That would be us, the people. And two, they start to pay down that debt, or they default on it. So there's really three things that could happen. We're not doing any of those. We just keep on going. The government has in effect taken the role that we have as the creditor and said, now that's our job, and we're going to go ahead and give ourselves. It's like me looking and going, okay, let's see. My credit limit is this on this card. Okay, it's now this. It's twice as much. So congratulations to me. But that's what the government's doing right now in their activities, spending your money. So let's look at what is this costing you, American citizen? What is this costing you? Well, let's look at debt per citizen, $45,000. You got debt per taxpayer, and that's the number I really want you to look at, because not everybody's a taxpayer. There's kids, old people that are retired and that are living on things like Social Security or whatever, and ultimately, not everybody really pays taxes. And I don't want to get into the debate about taxes. I don't think there's a law that requires you to pay taxes, but beyond that, that's not why I'm making this video. Pretend there is a law, and pretend that people like Charlie Rangel actually obey it, and don't get off scot-free. Pretend that people like Wesley Snipes aren't in jail for the very same things that guys like Charlie Rangel are getting away with. $126,000 per taxpayer. So if you're a taxpayer, that would be you. In the case of my wife and I, that's $250,000. Now, we kind of look at debt like if we hit 20 grand, we're pretty much bankrupt. And we hit that point and then stopped. We said, enough of this, enough. And we've been paying it off, and we're almost there. But $250,000? Oh, I'm sorry, no. I just refuse to accept that any of that's my responsibility. I didn't authorize these jokers to do this. The Constitution certainly didn't authorize them to do this. And the Constitution, even though they've created the Federal Reserve Act, doesn't authorize them to have a Federal Reserve. Doesn't authorize them to go on to war after war just because they feel like it, without a declaration. There's a lot the Constitution doesn't authorize government to do, but I can tell you $14 trillion is definitely one of them. And if you can see all these crazy statistics. Now I want to show you this thing called the Debt Clock Time Machine. Let's go to 2015. Let's see what happens. Let's go to 2015 at the current rates, and we know the current rates. Nothing's going to stop what's going on. Wait till you see this. 2015 at current rates, and go. All right, it'll go eventually. Okay. And go. $22 trillion. Congratulations, Mr. American. Your debt per taxpayer has gone up to $184,000, and your debt per citizen is now $68,000. Now that's kind of insulting right there when you really think about it. $68,000 per citizen, but not all those citizens are paying for it. You know who's paying for it? It's the taxpayers, the people that are paying taxes. And this is specifically all sources of revenue that they're talking about, but taxpayer. I'm not talking about you bought stuff at the store, you paid sales tax. No, I'm talking income tax. That's how they consider somebody a taxpayer. Now, $184,000 versus 68. Because basically what's happening here is you're bearing the burden for everyone else. So they get to steal your money in the form of inflation, that's a tax, in the form of debt, and then they get to steal your ability to make money in an economy that would be roaring otherwise, because they're constantly meddling with it and screwing it up. But congratulations, everybody. You get to pay $184,000 in 2015. That's over 300,000. That's over $300,000. I'm done. Okay, I don't know where you jokers up in Washington are going to get this money, but it isn't going to come from me. It would take me, 20 years to make that much money. And I still got to eat. I still got to put a roof over my head. I got to still buy bullets and guns to defend myself from the roving hordes of people that are going to be roving the streets because you wrecked this country. And because they're starving. Because the 3-day supply of food is gone off the shelves because inflation wrecked it. Because inflation made sure that gas went up to $6 to $10 a gallon, and the stupid trucking companies and the trains couldn't run to get the food to the stores, so now everyone's starving and dying in the streets. And you know who they're coming after? The people that got ready, the people that prepared, the people that did something. You up in Washington, you just have no clue. Republicans, I'm talking to you too. Enough is enough. We're broke. Totally broke. And it's time you wake up to that fact. And it's time that you look at these numbers and fix it. Undo what is it? What is this mess? Undo this. Stop spending. Stop spending. It's very simple. Stop spending. And just say it with me. Stop spending. It's very simple. Get it done.